Hogwarts Legacy really set out to tell us about the legacy of a wart-covered hog. And it did just that. This is Bully Magic Edition. And if you can't wait to abracadabra your way to graduation, hit the like button right now. Because before we start spreading the legs and go deep inside Hogwarts Legacy, J.K. Rowling needs to be applauded. Bravo, she is just so awesome and has zero flaws. We appreciate you creating this wonderful world. What an incredibly talented and brave woman. The best magical detail of Hogwarts Legacy is the fact that it's pissing off the Twitter tards, because people tend to forget that Twitter does not reflect the real world. This J.K. Rowling drama doesn't exist outside of Twitter. 99.99999% of people buying this game come home after work, just want to play a game about wizards playing with their wands. That's it. To paraphrase Voldemort, you're a fool, Twitter, and you will lose. Hogwarts Legacy is getting so many good reviews on Metacritic, so the Twitter folks are indeed in shambles right now. And speaking of Voldemort, Voldemort is going to seem like Gandhi after I'm done playing this, because there's really only one house to choose from, and that's Slytherin, because an epic journey full of uncovered secrets and power is just too sexy for me. I am a Slytherin legend, destined to outshine the other dweebs from the lesser houses. One thing to note is that Slytherin is associated with the element of water, and because my nickname is David Hassel Dick, it's my job to make women as wet as possible, so the stars align perfectly right there. Anyway, before I forget, the score, the music in this game is just brilliant. The score, the music was one of the most important elements in the Harry Potter movies. The ambient sounds that seem to follow you through every scene just made me an even bigger fan of the universe. Not everyone has an ear for sound, so it's that much important to give credit where credit is due. In Hogwarts Legacy, it's just simply mesmerizing. It adds another layer of immersion. You know, when I got the game, I looked at the cover art and it reminded me of Dragon Age. And I asked myself, do not let this become a Harry Punk 2077. The ability to be hyped about a game without a substantial amount of skepticism is almost impossible nowadays. Ironically, the great thing about Hogwarts Legacy is that if there's any bugs, the devs can just say a magic wizard did it. He used the crashiest glitchindo spell. Okay, ladies and gents, let's get to the meat of the review. After like 2 or 3 hours, I actually forgot about Harry Potter and realized that this was my story. I was building my own narrative with new enemies and locations to explore. That's probably the biggest compliment you could give Hogwarts Legacy. Even the most die-hard Harry Potter fan will forget about that twink almost instantly. You'll spend a decent chunk of your time talking with classmates who will follow you around like lost puppies during missions while you hone your wizard abilities. As someone that kinda hates talking to NPCs in general, especially after the recent hollow trash garbage known as Gotham Knights and Saints Row. And yes, add Forspoken to that list, it was a welcome surprise when the characters in Hogwarts Legacy weren't actually forgettable and, dare I say, likable. It's almost as if they serve a purpose and blend into the environment within the walls of Hogwarts, and it makes it even more believable. And I'm in this strange position where I actually want to hang out and speak with the professors. It's like a complete bizarro flip of real life. Usually, I want to take out a 45 and shoot them between the eyes before the class is over. But not today. You get to live, Professor. Anyway, it's great to see Peeves as a character, but it is heartbreaking that Rick Mayall passed away before we could ever see his portrayal as the character. Anyway, the introduction is simply stunning. It's not just the backgrounds. It's this careful exposition filled with this feeling of excitement, all within this clearly well-designed, definitive interactive world. You could literally just stand still in the middle of a quest and just bathe in the glory of being so engrossed inside the Harry Potter universe so expertly created. In a world where source material for our stories are regularly defiled with the weird fantasies of terrible clownish people, it's great to finally see developers have deep care for the source material. And that links beautifully to how organically, each character is essential to the growth of your story as a wizard, Harry. They feel so aesthetically placed, whether that's inside a classroom or standing idly by in the hallways as you make your way to the forbidden passageways looking for some secrets. Quite frankly, as amazing as Hogwarts is, I found that the exploration outside of Hogwarts to be a highlight. The ability to consistently move between the castle, underground, and outside is woven in organically. The biggest con or critique I could give Hogwarts Legacy is the weird texture popping and the flickering of light that seems to follow you in some places and give you a jarring reaction every time you're moving quickly or in the middle of a battle. See, there's really no excuse for this, Sony. See, I played this on the PS5. Spider-Man, Ratchet & Clank had no issues with my SSD, but with this I ran into problems. How dare you? See, until we get PS5 and next gen only games, this is going to be an issue. I am just sick and tired of you last gen peasants being an anchor for the rest of us. Who the is still holding a PS4 controller? Yikes. Anyway, all in all, the combat, by the way, is phenomenal and challenging as it should be. You start off with a small little dicky wand, but as you get stronger, you start to play with your food a little bit in a way that's oddly satisfying. The creative ways you can chain together combos like force pulling someone, setting them on fire, and then spanking them with a spell, that is surprisingly more enjoyable than I expected. And I actually died a few times, and that's okay, because learning which skills work with different enemies is a worthwhile, fun endeavor. The variety of shields that each enemy possesses forces you to switch up your attacks and not be so repetitive. There's nothing quite like parrying someone perfectly and then taking your wand and covering it in blasphemous oils, turning it sideways and sticking it straight up a cave troll's. What a feeling. That is literally all I can say because I didn't get a review code. I don't have 25 hours of gameplay under my belt, so my experience is limited so far. But I do have a decent chunk of playtime to give my impressions. Now, why do companies don't give me review codes? It's because gaming companies are deathly afraid of me, little old Mannix. Yeah, and that's a good thing. This gaming industry, this thing of ours is just so corrupt. The more honest you are, the less access you get. Isn't that just a sign of the times? And on that bombshell, Mannix out.